Okay, it's 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, and I just thought I'd do a mid-morning update on how things have how it started and how it's going. I kind of like that. So we had, I guess I would call the opening this morning. It wasn't. It had a little bit of confidence. We got up to the value area high pretty quickly. So let's talk about the stories and what didn't really happen here. So we opened in range and value. That did happen. Um, the sell the value area high. This wasn't ideal, but it did work. I mean, we did have mixed market internals. The tempo was moderate, I'd say. We didn't build a lot of value. I'm gonna split this off here. Just a moment. Let me split off at B here. So we had value kind of. It didn't build in value is what I'm trying to say. It didn't build down in value. It built above it a little bit, kind of overlapping. So this was, if you're quick, all of these stories sort of interlace and overlay each other at one time or another, generally. It's exciting when you think of a story and it works out exactly, right? So there were opportunities to buy. It is a little more risky, right? The market internals, lately they haven't been starting off with a bang since I think, 2 Fridays ago? I may be wrong about that. So this was worth something if you didn't let yourself get run over, if you're quick. Story 2 didn't happen. Story 3 has not happened. Story 4 is more in line with what has been happening, and I want to talk about what might be happening going forward. Okay, move to previous high day, continue higher. Well, that's happened. It's been a grind higher, so we wanted to look for volume value overlapping to higher. We started to get it right in the first period. Okay, so I'm going to merge this together. Let's see. So let me pull this out of the way. We can see the value area high. We're overlapping to higher, right? You can see the big volume profile here, overlapping to higher. Okay, so remember we have poor highs above. We've got a lot of fuel for short covering possibly. We wanted to, buy against the value area high or previous high of day. All right, so let's look at if you bought in C period or even in B period here, when we got above it, this was an excellent place to get long, right? If you bought into this hype, right? If you bought into this fantasy that's how it might play out, well, sometimes it does, right? So there you go. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is that I got away from doing these kind of things for a number of years, where I'm kind of writing out all these things and and just kind of shooting from the hip a little bit, thinking it through, but kind of not really articulating it. And these plans sometimes are to the letter, and you need to be prepared and have confidence in your own analysis, right? So may I impart that to you by this as well. So all right, so looking at buying against value area high, this played out really well. Positive market in terms of buying, negative selling, high confidence open. I wouldn't say it was high confidence. It wasn't low confidence. I mean, it really to kind of find direction rather early. There's a 5-minute chart. Let me bring this in here. Let's see here. Move this out of the way. You can see 9:30 is right about, I can't find my crosshairs. 9:30 is right about here. And you can see we pretty much had within the first 10 minutes, it was right up there, the value area. I'd say that's moderate to high. It didn't play like high confidence like I like to see it, like open drive or open like one tick down and drive. It got legs pretty quickly though. All right, so let's take, and nuances are important, and that's going to maybe play into what I'm going to talk about next. So market internals, let me bring those up. Just a moment, where they go. I'll pull this out of the way. Don't need this right now. Make this smaller. Where'd my market internals go? There we go. Okay, market internals. This is not raging trend market internals. This is mixed. Well, it's slightly positive. It's a little bit positive, right? This could easily roll over to the downside. Even the tick, it's mostly positive in the last little bit. Hang on, let me make this bigger. So mostly positive. Obviously, it's been going up, right? But we have had some pretty deep stabs down. What's that mean? Well, it's a little bit, it's slightly mixed, okay? In my opinion, this is just how I read it, all right? So I'll pull these out, but there's the market internals for you. And we're going to look at the next possibility of going forward, what the story is. Now, mind you, and I mentioned this, hey, there's a lot of fuel for a short covering rally later today, in the next 30 seconds, who knows, okay? We just opened a new TPO a few minutes ago, by the way. But the last 5 is an inside day similar to story 1. Well, inside day is out because we took out the high. Okay, you know, we make adjustments. These things aren't perfect. I can't make 20 stories up. So the idea was that, well, let me put this back in here. Inside day, similar to story 1. Story 1 was open in range and value and kind of rotate, right? And this idea is that we have an inside day similar to story 1. Basically, trade the edge of the range, quick to exit of a breakout. Now we broke above, and we have fallen back into yesterday's range. Okay, so it's back in. Are we going to rotate downward? That's what the idea of this story is. That market internals, tempo, value, support, rotational trade. Let's take a look at all of those things. Okay, so our volume point of control is all the way down here, back inside of yesterday's value. Now we do have some volume distributions up here, and we do have some single prints right here. That bodes well for the upside. What's the tempo like? Well, let's watch it for half a second. Not too fantastic. We repaired, I hate that word, sorry, but we came to this, went through these anomalies here. I was talking about anomalies, and there were some yesterday. There's still some above yet. I don't know. We're right inside the high of day. So this is this prairie dog. We're going to come back out. We're going, we already rotated down here. So if you'd gotten short, you could have gotten a nice little trade. So this is the concern right here. We've got the single prints and low volume. I would say if we do get down here and fill this back in, odds are pretty good we're going to make a move back down. You know, I can see us stopping one-time framing. That's the other thing. Right now, we're one-time framing up, right? We've been one-time framing pretty much all day to the upside, but what's the tempo like? Not like a trend day. And right now, here's the other thought, okay? I want to do this. Now, here's something for you. If you, I'm trying to share things I've learned over the years. So here is the initial balance length, right? So I'm going to copy and move this if I can. It's not letting me. I'm going to move this up here. I may have to do it in a bit of a lag here. Let me might have to get the calculator out too. So here, I'll make a different color. I don't mean to be so tedious. Okay, I'm making a different color just to make it a little clear here. Let's make it yellow. All right, this is equidistance, right? If we are 85% of the initial balance, roughly, that makes a normal variation day. It's not a trend day. We are definitely inside the normal variation day measurements. So let's paint the bars in our mind. Do we see it going up here? We're still being, yeah, possibly we could get to the value area high of, there's a lot of room for short covering here. Clearing these stops. We're at an inside bar right now, and the next probably 45 minutes will tell us a lot. But we could get a rotation back down just as easily. Okay, so the tempo is kind of petered out. Back inside of range, trading above value, but the volume is largely further down, and the VPOC, which is prominent, is at 39.20. Okay, so the idea again, though, is we're up near the edges right now of today's range, okay? And that was the idea, to trade the edges of the range, quickly exit if it breaks out. So this isn't something you want to necessarily give it 20 points of room, right? But you want the tempo, value, which all support, and right now things, I believe, support rotational trade. We often get a pause or a breather and one-time framing before it resumes. So there's some good probably some good opportunities for limited maybe for the short side, but potentially for a rotation back down. Even, I would say, now I want to point this out too, last thing, I don't really like the low is right on the overnight volume point of control. The opens right here. There's the close, the 415 close, which I use. I'm gonna probably change that, but yeah, we have unfinished business possibly down here in the overnight. Okay. Again, there's just a lot of reasons that we could roll back down, and I'm just talking about taking a piece of it. This isn't about, oh, get short on the high and take profit on the low. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I don't think I've ever done that. So if you have, boy, tell me your secret and email it to me. I would love to know and how. Okay? So thank you very much. Hope this is instructive, helpful, and make a great rest of your day. By the way, I'm actually trying to stay away from the computer most of the day. I've got a lot of things. I'm trying to take a break. Very difficult. I love doing this, and I've actually been on. I don't know where I've got the energy, but all of a sudden I've had the energy to do these videos. It's been very internally edifying for me, and strangely enough, not everybody really wants me to do this. It's strange, very strange. They don't see any value in it. Okay, well, don't watch it. Go away. All right, make a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.